What's going on, guys? LegitMHx here, back with another video on Marvel Spider-Man PS4. So I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing more of a details new info video. I have recovered from my reaction to the gameplay. I mean, in the actual reaction video, it wasn't too crazy because I had to be quiet because I had people sleeping in my house, so I couldn't be too loud. But I was screaming inside. So basically, yeah. I had to, you guys probably saw a lot of the hype that I had in my actual discussion video, which I did right after the gameplay, but, now I'm going to be talking about the details, the info, all the new stuff that we've gotten outside of the trailer, from interviews, discussions, posts online, Insomniac's tweets, everything like that, all summed up in one video. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to cover everything, that we've gotten that's relating to the gameplay, because everyone's talking about the gameplay in particular and relating everything back, but I'll be covering everything there that we've gotten so far. We're still going to be getting more stuff soon, so I'll make videos on that as well. But so far, this is after the gameplay happened, after an interview with Brian Inter happened, after the E3 Coliseum that happens on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on where you live, and it's still, some is supposed to happen in the future, still at the E3 Coliseum, more stuff going to still be happening, but the main stuff is over. So these are the main info that I'm going to be talking about, and not to delay any further, let's just get straight into it. So I've got a list of stuff that we do know about the game now, so let's just start with the beginning. First up, we know that Spider-Man is officially 23 years old. Now, I made a video a while ago which wasn't the best, but I pretty much speculated how old Spider-Man was, and it's been confirmed by Bill Roseman, by Brian Inter, by Insomniac Games, that Spider-Man is officially 23 years old, and he has been Spider-Man for 8 years. They have specifically said that, so that means that, if I can do my maths, he became Spider-Man at 15 years of age, obviously, but he's been Spider-Man for 8 years, which means that he's been doing a lot of Spider-Man. He's been a superhero for a long time, hence him being so skilled, hence him having such amazing abilities, hence Spider-Man PS4, or Marvel Spider-Man PS4 being such an amazing game that we did see. The parkour, the traversal, the combat, everything looks amazing. He's got gadgets and stuff, all because he's been Spider-Man for 8 years and he's a much more experienced 23-year-old Spider-Man. Now, the next thing that we do have is Spider-Man was actually taken down. I mean, what am I saying? I had it written down weird on my notes, but basically, we know that Fisk, I forgot its name, but Fisk, basically Kingpin, is in the game, but he's not really in the game like you would expect as a villain. He might come in the future, but how we did see him was he basically was defeated by Spider-Man. Basically, Kingpin, I believe, is now in jail, because Spider-Man had taken him down in the past. Whether we take him down in the game, or whether we actually take him down, we don't take him down and it's just something that's what he's done in his 8 years of being Spider-Man, we don't know, but he has taken down Kingpin, and he is one of the main villains, but actually probably not one of the main villains, but he is one of the villains within the actual game. And also Mr. Negative and his crew are called by Insomniac as a rising threat, that's the words that they use, and that they are trying to take over Kingpin's territory, and that is what we saw from the gameplay. Basically, this sort of relates back to a leak that we got a while ago, which was talking about how there's lots of villains and they have their own territories, and the guy that leaked it also said that Kingpin would be a villain in it, as well as Mr. Negative. So it looks like that leak might have been true, not 100% sure, but basically, yeah, basically we're seeing that Kingpin has been taken down already by Spider-Man, most likely, and Mr. Negative and his crew are trying to take over, but we do see that Spider-Man does stop that. Now, moving on, the next thing that we do have is the web trip wire. That is basically the name that is given to the actual gadget that we saw in the actual gameplay. I'll put a video up of the actual thing on screen, but it's called the web trip wire that Brian Inter did say in one of his interviews. Basically, it is a multi-use gadget that Spider-Man has made. I believe that there are more than just that, but they did talk about how it can be used in many different scenarios, in many different environments, and the one that we just saw in the actual gameplay was just one of the ways you can use it. You can also use it by hanging a few people together, or you can stick it onto a person and then they will attach it into a bunch of guys and then it will like destroy them, something like that. It's some cool uses, and they have also said that like you can find new cool ways to use it, and there might be some things that you can discover for yourself depending on how much skill you have. So it's a cool new gadget, and it could be one of many. We don't know for sure, but we do know that Spider-Man again is much more skilled, so he has a lot more gadgets, and the web tripwire is just one of them. Now the next thing that we do know is Mr. Negative, or Martin Lee. He works for Feast. I think most of us already knew that, but we have a confirmation that he does work for Feast, and Aunt May does also work at Feast, and Martin Lee is actually her boss. So it's sort of interesting that this is the way that they're connecting Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Martin Lee, and Mr. Negative. I think I sort of talked about it before in one of my videos, I'm not sure, but this is how they're going to actually connect it, and we know that because when Peter does see Mr. Negative, he says, "Oh, Martin Lee is Mr. Negative," something like that. That sounded so weird, but yeah. So this is gonna connect Peter Parker through Aunt May to Martin Lee, and then Martin Lee is connected, obviously, Mr. Negative, and Mr. Negative to Spider-Man. So it does give birth to a really cool plot that might be arising. Next up, we have the actual sort of Spider-Man's contact that we did see with the actual thing. It was Captain Watanabe, I think. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a I haven't actually heard of it, but apparently it is a new character that's been introduced into the Spider-Man comics not too long ago. But she's gonna be actually in the actual game, and it's actually a contact from the police force that Spider-Man does interact with. So that's a cool thing to know. I think her name's Yuri Watanabe. So Yuri, it's sort of ironic because the voice actor for Spider-Man is Yuri Lowenthal. So yeah, that's another character, and from that we have Bill Roseman and Brian Inter also saying that Marvel's Spider-Man, the game, is actually gonna have a really big cast and a bunch of characters. Brian Inter specifically said that he looked back on the game and he talked to someone, I forgot who it was, but he said that, damn, this game is big. He basically said that, and it's cool because there's going to be a lot of characters that we all know, or mostly know, and they're all going to be used in different ways, like Miles Morales. Who knows how he's going to be used? I'll make a video on the future just specifically on Miles Morales soon. But who knows how they're going to use Miles. It's going to be interesting to see that as well. So there's going to be a bunch more characters, and apparently the plot is really, really big. The story is really, really big, that I'm hoping for more than 12 hours of gameplay, of story gameplay. Like 12 hours of story. A good moment would be 15 to 18 hours, I think. Around that would be perfect. More is better in my opinion, but it shouldn't get stale, so we should be fine. But they are trying to nail the story, and they do seem confident with the story. So the next thing that we do know is sort of the stuff about the web slinging. It is physics based, that is confirmed, and they do attach to buildings. Apparently people didn't realize that they attach to buildings. I mean, it's pretty obvious from the actual gameplay, isn't it? But I guess some people needed that confirmation. So webs do attach to actual buildings, and they actually do follow physics. And a lot of people have been complaining that it seems slow. I don't see how it seems slow at all. I really think that it seems fast. I think it seems perfectly balanced. When he does swing, it does shoot him as much as it should. Maybe it could give him a bit more momentum when he does release, but to me it seemed perfect. I didn't really realize anything until someone pointed it out, and I was like, okay, maybe it could be a bit, keep a bit more momentum or something like that. But yeah, web slinging is going to be amazing. They're also still trying to polish it. Also, leading on, it is in the polishing stage now. I'm pretty sure they are polishing the game, and they're going to be polishing it for 1 year. They're probably going to be focusing mostly on the combat and traversal, as well as the web slinging. Those are the three main things I think they're going to be focusing on, animations and stuff like that, and how it actually works. So that's what they're going to be doing within the polishing stage, most likely. But the web slinging does seem pretty cool. Maybe they can improve it a bit more. The better, I guess. But yeah, moving on, we have they also did comment on how the game's going to be still skill-based. I know a lot of people did complain about the QTEs, the quick time events being within the game, and I sort of don't like that either, but it seems pretty cool the way that they are using it. It seems pretty cool, and it's making it a lot more cinematic and movie-like, rather than what this QTEs were in Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I do like the way they're using QTEs more. Maybe they are making it also more skill-based, like well, not the QTEs, but in just in general, they commented on the helicopter chase and how you actually have to be fast and use a lot of your skill to actually keep up with it. And they commented how Brian commented how he said he was scared that whether or not someone that was actually demoing the game, if he'd be able to keep up with the helicopter. So it does seem like it is difficult, and you do need skill, which is really good, because I don't want to watch a movie. Which would be awesome, watching a Spider-Man movie, but I want to also play it because that's the point of a game. So that looks like they are focusing on that, making sure that it is skill-based and that you do actually put a level of skill into it and not just watch what's happening. And the next thing that we do have is the billboard that we did see from the original E3 2016 trailer. Is everyone thought it was, well, not everyone, but it was speculated that it's vote for Norman Osborn, elect Norman Osborn or something, but we do clearly see it. It says re-elect Norman Osborn. No, it just says re-elect Osborn. Most probably it's Norman Osborn, I think. I don't know what's happening with that, because Peter Parker has been Spider-Man for 8 years, so I don't know how it would be Norman still, but we'll have to see, because it's re-elect, it's not elect, and it's probably not Harry, so we'll have to see how that works, because that's going to also be intertwined with the story as well, so we'll have to see how that exactly works. And the final bit of news that we do have is final bit of news that we do have is that they have been working on the game for over 2.5 years, which isn't really news because we could sort of calculate it based on what they've said in previous interviews last year. But 2.5 years, or just over 2.5 years, means that they have been working on it since late 2014, which we already sort of knew, because that's when Brian Intihar was labeled the creative director. But that's pretty much all the news that we have and all the details that we have gotten from E3 outside of the gameplay trailer. Now I just want to comment on the gameplay trailer and what I think of it. Basically, in terms of when it's set, I want to discuss when it's set, because I'm not too sure. From looking at the gameplay, it seems that the actual gameplay is set very early on in the actual game. Obviously they wouldn't give something that's middle or end of the game, so obviously it would be early, but I'm trying to think whether or not it would be before or after the E3 2016 trailer and that mission. And I still think that the E3 2016 trailer is an opening mission. When you do first start the game, that's going to be the opening mission, and then eventually you lead on to the inner demons in this gameplay, and then you see Mr. Negative and whatnot, and the story unfolds as it gets more complex. So that's just my comment on it, but I do not want to make this video too long. 12 minutes it's at already. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'm going to ask you guys, what have you guys enjoyed the most in the actual gameplay? I've asked this on Twitter, and Swinging by far won with like 200 votes, and it was like 39% against like 26 and 22, which was graphics and combat, and map was at like 10%. I thought the map was pretty cool, so I don't know why that's that low, but I guess the other things are also pretty good, and a lot of people had a hard time deciding. But what are you guys excited for the most in Spider-Man PS4? That's my question for you guys. And to end this video off, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already, much more videos to come. Like this video if you guys did enjoy. Go check out the Spidey Squad because they are amazing, and this was once again LegitMHx signing out.